So this video is going to be about when I was leaving Jehovah's Witnesses, what some of my hangups still were, because I didn't really research everything yet, so I still thought there were a few things that were right about it. Um, One of them being the blood issue, and really, after watching a few videos on YouTube, it did get me to step back from the whole thing, look at the Bible, and then just kind of logically see why I think witnesses are wrong about the blood issue now. Because when it comes to certain things, it's all about the principle, right? Well, the principle that, as I understood it to be behind the blood issue, was sanctity of life. When you killed an animal, you poured its blood on the ground to basically respect the life that you took. You were going to use it as food or whatever for yourself, and that's all that God asked back, was that you pour its blood upon the ground, and it kind of showed a respect. So now when I think about blood transfusions, there's no loss of life. It's, people have donated that blood for your use, but they're still living. So then I started to think, does that mean, if there's no loss of life, what am I respecting then? It's actually then to preserve life. Now, I still am kind of grossed out by the blood transfusion thing, because I've seen people standing in line, and I always thought, if I wouldn't French kiss that person, why would I want their blood? But it's just my own personal thing. I know it's tested, all of that. But where Jehovah's Witnesses take it to an extreme is they don't even want you to store your own blood to use for later. And in an emergency situation where you don't have time to do that, and it's life or death, well, you know what? I would still opt to get that blood transfusion. I mean, that wouldn't be ideal, that wouldn't be my first choice, but I'm not totally against it now, because in principle, it doesn't apply. You're not showing respect for sanctity of life. You're actually dishonoring life if you just allow someone to die for no reason. So I'm pretty much over the blood thing. Like, I think that really they just have it wrong. Especially, they can't even make up their own mind about it. Like, one day it's okay to take it, then it's definitely not. And then you could just have fractions, even though you need someone to donate the blood originally to get that fraction. So it doesn't make any sense. I remember we had an elder come to our house when they first did that, and he sat with us, it seemed like, for hours, and we went through scriptures, and I asked his personal opinion, and he wouldn't give it. I think that's because he didn't know what to think of it yet, but that's okay. So the other hang up I had was holidays, because they are pagan, right? They're pagan. But then I threw that out the window, because literally almost everything around you is pagan, whether it be the way that the months of the year are named, wind chimes, lipstick. That's where people have come from, and that's what people used to believe, and it's carried on throughout the ages. So something pagan has touched every aspect of life and been passed down to this day. You're not going to get rid of it. So why are you going to be so paranoid about it? So then how do you pick and choose what's so pagan that it's not acceptable anymore? So I didn't understand that. But I wanted to read something, and I think I want to start going through the Elder Book, little pieces of it. And for anyone out there that says that I'm making this up or it's doctored somehow, I want to know if you even knew that there was another Elder Book that existed. But anyway, as far as celebrating false religious holidays, the place that I'm at is chapter 5, page 65, under the subheading of apostasy. What I found very interesting is that you can't be disfellowshipped for celebrating all holidays. It just says, celebrating false religious holidays. Not all holidays directly involve false religion and require judicial action. That's my son. So I thought that was interesting. So what are they? They didn't specify exactly what holidays are acceptable and which ones are unacceptable. They just said religious. So that would exclude birthdays, 4th of July, New Year. So you can't get disfellowship for that. Thanksgiving, that's not really religious. But they don't like really let everybody know that. It's just considered wrong across the board, and you just leave them all alone. And even when I was a full-blown Jehovah's Witness, I never understood why birthdays were bad. And I even would talk to my dad about it, and I was like, I don't understand it, but if this is the only thing that they have wrong, I'll just do it. Well, once you know, that's not the only thing that they have wrong. They got many things that are contradictory. So there goes that theory. And I even remember going on a Bible study with a friend one time, and she asked about birthdays. And the only thing we could come up with is what you're taught. Jesus didn't celebrate his birthday. The only mention of birthdays in the Bible, there were beheadings. Okay, so stop and think about that for a minute. The two stories where there was a birthday celebration, that was just a setting. It's just setting up the story. It's letting you know the atmosphere, just what was going on at the time. It's like when you give a talk at the hall and they ask you to pick your setting. Are you talking to a neighbor, somebody at work, school? That's just the setting. You're setting up the scenario. So it gives you the feel for what's going on around you. Okay, it was a birthday party. Someone happened to get their head chopped off. That's bad. Okay, I'll give you that. But I drive a car. People die in car accidents. Therefore, cars are unacceptable. That's totally unreasonable. You can't, one thing does not follow the other. It's not because you had a birthday party, somebody got their head chopped off. So there goes that whole idea. So you can't use the pagan excuse with me anymore because everything's pagan. But then you have the bigger religious holidays. Like I understood that New Year's, Thanksgiving, and stuff. Those are kind of the lighthearted holidays. But the big religious holidays, the ones that you can get called to the floor for, Christmas. I still could take it or leave it because I've never celebrated Christmas. I don't have any sentimentality about it or traditions that my family have done for ages or ages. I don't really care about it. But I'm not against it. I mean, I've learned so much since then. To me, it's just something people like to do to get together and have their family. Our family was so extreme about it. We'd have family come in from all over, and we wouldn't go because it was Christmas Day. As if somehow that was going to be the only thing people were doing and we couldn't enjoy each other's company. I'm not going to be diehard about it like that. I think it's kind of crazy to do that. But now that I'm not really in it anymore, if someone invited me over for Christmas, I'll go. I'm fine. I don't care if anybody gets me anything. I don't really care to even buy gifts for people. I guess maybe I'm just cheap, and that's the only part about being a Jehovah's Witness. That kind of was a plus for me. I mean, keeping up with all that stuff, I don't know how people do it. So it's not anything that was really important to me anyway, but I just think that that's just for my own personal reasons. It's not because they're just like some horrible thing. And in the grand scheme of things, if there is a God in heaven looking down on this earth, I doubt very much that he cares if you're getting together as a family and unwrapping presents. Like in the grand scheme of things, with all the crap going on this earth, all the injustice and everything, that's what he's going to pick to get wildly offended about. I don't buy that at all. But anyway, those are some of the hangups that I had, and I'm pretty much over it now, but it was kind of weird to get past it at first. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.